morning, everyone. Today is Monday, March 1st. We made it to March, so welcome, welcome. And this is our weekly update on COVID. I think both Jim and Bill have some great news to share with everybody. A lot of movement in the past week, positive movement. Before we move on to their update, I just want to grab your attention and let you know that there is a grant out there that's still available. The SANS organization wanted me to bring to your attention that this week is the last week that'll be open. It is open to all school departments, all schools, all town departments, and any nonprofit organization within Scituate. So go to the SANS Help site and see if there's some financial help that you can get from them, and they're a great organization. So Jim, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mara. It is getting to be spring. I went to Sullivan's out on Castle Island, got a hot dog yesterday, so must be springtime when Sullivan's opens. But as you said, good news over the weekend. The government has approved the Johnson & Johnson vaccine for usage. This is a one-shot vaccine, unlike the Moderna and the Pfizer, which are two-shot vaccines. So it is really a game changer in terms of getting people vaccinated. When they say they're going to ship 20 million doses, that's 20 million people who are vaccinated and done. They are saying they expect to ship 20 million vaccines in the month of March and 100 million vaccines by the summertime, June, July, which is fantastic. Superintendent Burkhead and I are spearheading a campaign to have the state allot the first doses of the J&J vaccine, the cities and towns, so we can vaccinate our teachers. Teachers are in the next phase of the shots. They're in phase 2, step 3. But if they would allow us to vaccinate the teachers in the same manner that we vaccinated our public safety employees, that would go a long way towards helping relieve some concerns about people getting back to school. So Senator O'Connor and Representative Candy are spearheading that at the legislative level, so we're hoping for some good news on that hopefully this week, and hopefully the governor will listen and we'll get those vaccines and be able to vaccinate our teachers. We are still in phase 2, step 2 of the vaccine schedule. That is residents of 65 and over, or residents with 2 or more comorbidities. Again, a comorbidity is defined as a existing health condition that is exacerbated by COVID-19. A full list of them is available on the state website, as is the vaccination site map that is still there. I know people are frustrated by the state website by not being able to get appointments for the vaccine. It's really not the website that's the problem, it's the lack of vaccine that's the problem. So last week, 50,000 appointments open for people 65 and over with 2 or more comorbidities, and there's over 1 million people in that category in the Commonwealth. So hopefully, again, with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine coming out, we'll be able to start ramping up that and more people will be able to get vaccinated. Marshfield Fairgrounds is up and running. Check that often. As they get more doses assigned to them, they put their availability up. The state sites, they go up on Thursdays. So this Thursday, the state will release all the appointments available for next week. One of the tricks of the trade, so to speak, that people are telling us that we should have our residents do is don't try to get an appointment for Monday or Tuesday, but try to book for the end of the week, as those tend to fill up later and you might be more successful. If you have a problem, 211 is the state hotline, or the Council on Aging at 781-545-8722. Since last Monday, we had 22 new cases. That's down from 32 the week before. We remain in the yellow on the COVID map. Our positivity rating is down to 2.19%, down from 2.98 the previous week. The statewide positivity rating was 2.15, which is down from 2.7 the last week. So we are moving in the right direction. It has been a precipitous drop since January. Because of that, we are returning to phase 3, step 2 of the reopening process. We were in that in the fall. In December, the state reverted back to phase 3, step 1. Under phase 3, step 2, capacity limits will be removed for restaurants and live musical performances, may resume at restaurants. Restaurants must maintain social distancing of 6 feet apart, a maximum of 6 people at a table, and 90-minute time limits at all tables. So a restaurant is not constrained by a percentage capacity. They are constrained by the number of people that they can safely put in the restaurant while maintaining all the other requirements. In addition, theaters, concert halls, and other indoor performance venues may reopen at half capacity for up to 500 people. Indoor recreational centers like laser tag, roller skating, trampoline parks, and obstacle courses may also reopen with 50% capacity. All other industries that are open may also go to 50% capacity. So your local gym can now go to 50% capacity if you're trying to work out. If the numbers remain good, the governor has now said we will go to phase 4, step 1 on March 22nd, and that would allow limited seating at Fenway Park and TD Garden to allow people back in to watch games in person. If we wish that to happen, if we wish to continue the reopening of the economy, then people need to continue to take the measures to stop the spread of COVID-19. People need to continue to wear a mask. They need to continue social distancing and avoid large gatherings as much as possible. The vaccine is here. We're doing the best we can to get it out. And as more people get vaccinated, as the numbers continue to drop, we'll be able to get closer to returning to normal. Beach stickers are still on sale. Speaking of summer coming, if you are a non-resident, all non-resident and Humrock stickers are sold out. Resident stickers are still available. You can get them online through the Treasurer's Office on the state website. Today is going to be a warm and rainy day. It should be fairly nice out, but by tomorrow morning, the wind chills are going to be below 0. So all the water and puddles on the road will be freezing and icing up. So we ask you to be alert for ice on the roads and the sidewalks when you go out in the morning. I imagine the DPW will be out tonight, salting and sanding, but just be cautious in the morning when you get up. We do think it will be icy and slick out there. The Cole Parkway Marina project is now in full swing. The barge is in place and they are starting to put the pilings and things into the harbor. That is expected to commence in earnest this week. It will be finished by the start of the boating season. What we're doing down there is we're putting the floats on pilings instead of under the underground floats. It is a much better system, and we will be able to leave those docks in over the winter, similar to the Maritime Center and the Mill Hill or the Mill Wharf Marina next door. Cedar Point is moving along. They are working in what I call the neck, the area where you get out to Cedar Point. It is very congested. It is very hard to get out there. We are asking that people continue to avoid Cedar Point if possible. The contractor did do some paving around the island at the entrance to Cedar Point last week, but the work is in that very narrow area where you get out to Cedar Point. It's hard to get out there. It's hard to get by. So if you don't need to be out there, please do not go out to Cedar Point until we get further along on this project. The Senior Center project is another project that we're working on. It is nearing completion. The furniture started being delivered last week. The inspectors have went out to inspect the elevators and the mechanical systems. The building inspector was out there last week doing his inspection. We are expecting to receive a temporary certificate of occupancy this week, which will allow the staff to get in the building and start preparing the building for people returning. And we are still expecting to be ready to open to the public, COVID dependent, by the 1st of April. So it's coming along. It's really looking nice. Unfortunately, a lot of the outdoor landscaping won't be done until much later on in the spring, obviously because of the weather. But the building is really in good shape, and with the furniture being delivered, it's starting to actually look finished. So we're hoping, again, by the end of the month to have that open to people and allow people in depending on where we are with the COVID. Finally, my last thing is the online survey on Pier 44 is still up, the Harvard Community Building. We're going to leave that up to the end of the week. So if you want to have an opinion on what we should do with the community building, please go to the town website, or if you come into the town hall, go to the library or walk past the Pier 44. There are signs with QR codes. You can just scan the QR code. That'll take you right to the survey. It won't take you any more than 5 minutes. That's what I have for today.
Great, thank you, Jim. And I just want to say, on behalf of the board, thank you to you and Bill for spearheading. I don't think folks know that the two of you have really spearheaded this idea up to the governor as well as lieutenant governor. And I know the board and all the residents really appreciate your advocacy and leadership. So thank you for all of that. And Bill, I know you've got a lot of great new news for the schools as well.
Absolutely. Thank you, Selectwoman Curran. I'll start off with a little update on our COVID situation in our schools, which is also on a steady decline. So more good news there, coinciding with the town's decrease in the community. Last week we had 5 cases in our school district, which brings our total for the year up to 152. And each time we have a case, we share that with our school community so everybody is in the know. There will be a special school committee meeting tonight. There's just one agenda item, is to vote on a memorandum of understanding with our STA, Scituate Teachers Association, regarding our return to school on Wednesday. And the regular scheduled meeting on March 8th will be held with the focus on our presentation of the Safe and Strong Reopening Framework Plan and a school committee vote. And speaking of the Safe and Strong Back to School Framework, the school committee at its last meeting voted 5-0 to approve phase 1 of the plan, which brings our students back this Wednesday in our hybrid model. So we're excited. The elementary kids will be back 5 days a week, at half days pretty much, a couple hours each day, and Wednesday will be included. And the upper grades will alternate their hybrid cohorts on Wednesdays. So more time on learning and face-to-face in-person learning for our kids beginning Wednesday. So we're excited for that. And I want to wrap up with a couple of sailor shout-outs. This week is Read Across America Week. Each year, the National Education Association leads schools in celebration of reading through a Read Across America program. In previous years, the celebration was built around the works of Dr. Seuss. This year, there's been a change of focus to celebrate a country of diverse readers. We have decided to join them in this change. Starting today, our elementary schools will begin participating in the Read Across America, which will discuss literature that affects the many differences and similarities among us. And finally, I'd like to, it's been mentioned before, I'd like to give a sailor shout out to Mr. Jim Boudreau for his collaboration regarding the support for our educators and staff to get vaccinated. Mr. Boudreau shared his terrific idea with me, and my part of it was to jump on board and advocate through legislatures, the governor, and getting the word out to our community. I think we've done a great job as a team doing that. I know our school committee supports that. So excited to get that out there and look forward to getting some good news. Thank you.
Great, thank you, and thank you both again. And great news on a senior center, Jim. Thanks. So happy for the staff to be able to move into a great facility soon, and hope we can open that up to our residents, sooner rather than later. And just want to remind everyone out there that, we've made some great strides, but keep wearing your mask, keep supporting our local businesses, not just the restaurants, but also the retail shops and everything down there. So down throughout the harbor and throughout Scituate, North Scituate as well. There's a lot of great new businesses opening up, which is great to see. So really some great things happening in Scituate. So if there isn't anything else, Jim or Bill, all set. And have a great week, and thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a good one.